When Hurts threw his 10th pass of the day with 9:06 left in the second quarter, a nifty 20-yard completion to Devontae Smith, the game was tied 7-7. When he threw his next pass a quarter later, he trailed 24-7. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master Football back at it again. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for showing up for Raider Tuesday. If you've never been here before, this is Jake with Master Football. All things pro, college, video game football, anything related to American football we discuss on this show, particularly the Las Vegas Raiders for today. Please, 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 emphasis on the please. Please subscribe. Please like the channel. Please share it. Hit that red subscribe button. Make it gray. Okay? Comment, share, like anything like that. It drives engagement. It really helps out the channel. But without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, everybody, if you did not see it the other day, the Raiders played the Philadelphia Eagles in Las Vegas. And again, who knows, man, they were feeling pretty good. Just went into Denver, beat up on the Broncos. So this is maybe a little bit of a trap game here. How did that game turn out? So boom, here we see 33-22, the Raiders win at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. You come down here, you check out the stats. So Philadelphia scored first in the first quarter. It was 7-0. It was on a crazy, the Raiders were driving. They throw a pick where Derek Carr kind of throws it behind Jalen Richard, their third down back. He tips it up in the air, gets picked off in the red zone. Unfortunate. The Eagles go ahead and score. I think they actually scored before that. But anyways, the Raiders in the second quarter scored 17 points. In the third quarter, they scored 13 points. They scored 30 unanswered points en route to a 33-22 victory. We see Derek Carr over here, 31 for 34, 2 touchdowns, 3 incomplete passes. One of those incomplete passes was picked off, unfortunately. At one point, he was 12 for 13, and the only incompletion he had was that interception. So 31 for 34, 3 incomplete passes, 324 yards, 9.5 yards per attempt, 77 QBR, 113 rating. The Raiders down here to check it out too. Raiders 29 carries, 119 yards, 4.1 yards per carry, which is a lot better than they usually do. You come over here and you check out the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, just a tough day. 18 for 34. Most of those throws came kind of in garbage time. 6.9 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, sacked twice, 58.5 QBR. Solid rating, but he really never stretched the Raiders. I mean, at one point, it was, like I said, it was 7-0, and then it was 30-7. They really didn't threaten them throughout that 30-7 time period. You see here that Jalen Hurts led the team in rushing with 13 carries for 61 yards, long of 16, 32 carries for 135 yards, 4.2 yards per carry. But it was too little too late at that point. They really liked their RPOs. They needed to run the ball a little bit more. That was what they said going into the game, but they just got down and they just couldn't really do what they wanted to do. As a matter of fact, we actually have some live game footage from the game. Let's go check it out and see what we have real quick. Oh, Derek. Derek over here, body slamming Eagles. Yannick Ngakoue. Oh, no. Say it ain't so. Derek, come on. What are you doing, man? Oh, here comes Max. Here comes Max. Okay, that wasn't actually the film footage from the game, obviously, but you can see that the Raiders were much more physical in this game than they had been in other games before. The Eagles were coming in, really strong defensive line. They had a really strong running game. How are the Raiders going to match up with that? They actually matched up pretty good. So come in here and check out Alec Ingold. Boom! On that linebacker right there. And again, this is fullback watch. I know they're kind of biased towards this, but this was what the Raiders wanted to do. They wanted to come in and be physical. So Josh Jacobs was out for most of this game, so they had to go with other backs. But at the same time, Alec Ingold, the offensive line, making the holes, doing pretty well, establishing the line of scrimmage up front. We come to this article here, and again, what we learned from this game, again, they basically state that Derek Carr was red hot, and again, he was on fire for most of the game. Okay, other than that pick, which was, he should have probably thrown it, even if he threw it in the dirt, it would have been just fine. He kind of threw it behind him, it was tipped up. It was a really weird play, but he was absolutely on fire that game. I think this is a big point of emphasis here for the Eagles. Any Eagles fans that are watching, I don't think you want to put this one on Jalen Hurts. I don't think he necessarily helped you that much. But think about this right here. As when you listen to this, when Hurts threw his 10th pass of the day with 9:06 left in the second quarter, a nifty 20-yard completion to Devontae Smith, the game was tied 7-7. When he threw his next pass a quarter later, he trailed 24-7. So it's just, that's one of those things where he's like, what do you want me to do? Okay, I sit down, I throw my 10th pass, we're tied, and then I come back in the game and I throw my next pass and it's 24-7, okay? There's not much you can do in those instances, but those big teams, those really good teams, they score before half, they get the ball at half, they score again. That's what they usually do. And you see here, I had emphasized something else. I had emphasized that the way to stop Patrick Mahomes in my previous video, the way to stop Patrick Mahomes is you don't blitz him. Well, the Eagles blitzed Derek Carr on just 8.7% of his dropbacks through the first 6 weeks. Philadelphia's 6.2% 16.1 blitz rate was an NFL low. So they blitzed even less than they already blitzed, considering the fact, but it still just had a rough day. I mean, Derek Carr had completed 90% of his passes, 90.9% completion, his second or his highest completion percentage of his career, the second highest being 90.6. Another player who I think played really, really well. So we know, Max Crosby is playing really, really well on the outside, one of the top-rated defensive ends in all of Pro Football Focus ratings. However, on the other side, Yannick Ngakoue, a big free agent acquisition, has also been playing well. I want to show you one of those plays real quick. So here you're on Sanjeet, and I love Sanjeet's channel. Okay, anybody who's a Raiders fan here knows you need to go and follow Sanjeet right now. But come check it out here at the bottom of the screen. So you're going to see Jordan Mailata is going up against our dear friend, Mr. Yannick Ngakoue. Look at this little chop swim. Bam, sack. I mean, look at Jalen's drop back. So Jalen's going to get the ball. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down. I mean, it's just, there's almost no time in the pocket. If you win that quick off the line, there's nothing you can do. Yannick had an absolutely awesome game. Tip pass, sack here, had another sack late in the game, was absolutely on fire today. So Raiders defensive line looks like they're playing pretty solid. Raiders offensive line is still a work in progress. Okay, that is, they are going to be exposed by really good defensive lines, especially really good defensive lines that have run support from the offense. I think that the Eagles had a good defensive line, but it wasn't supported by any runs. And again, they stayed on the field the whole time, just drive after drive after drive. If you can't give your defense a little bit of rest, it's just going to wear down them. And I think that's what really happened to them. I don't think the Raiders offensive line per se dominated. I know that Alex Leatherwood at right guard is still kind of struggling. Brandon Parker is Brandon Parker. Any Raiders fan knows, hey, hopefully don't look over on the right side. Just don't look. Hopefully it turns out okay. But most of the day they played pretty well. But I think that for them, right now, Raiders are sitting at 5-2, tied for first place in the AFC. Not the AFC West, in the AFC. And then again, they are tied at 5-2 with the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Titans. So you see here, the Raiders are coming, next week is going to be a bye. They do not play next week at all. And I think that's big for them because if you look over here, they have, Damon Arnett, who's a first-round pick. He's kind of a reserve corner, but he's a first-round pick. He's on injured reserve. He should be able to come back soon. Richie Incognito, a guard, is rumored to be coming back soon. Who knows there? We see Trayvon Mullen is rumored to be coming back soon. So if they could get two corners back, and again, they've been kind of reeling in the defensive backfield. They've been starting Brandon Faison. I'd never even heard of that guy before a couple of games ago, but they're playing pretty well with the guys that they have. They should be getting some help back, especially with this bye week right now. So looking at the schedule, here we go. See, week 8, they have a bye. Next week, they play at the New York Giants, and that is a very, very winnable game. It's not easy, but it's a winnable game, and they're going to need it because if you look at this down the stretch, okay, I don't care what anybody says about Kansas City. Kansas City can still score, okay? Then they play the Bengals, and the Bengals are number 1 in the AFC. They're tied in first place in the AFC. The Dallas Cowboys are no joke. Washington football team, I think that they're kind of struggling, but then you have to go to Kansas City. You got at Cleveland. You got Denver at home. Indianapolis is playing pretty solid the last couple of weeks. And then you got to go up against the rival Chargers at home this time instead of playing in LA. So here's my plea to all the Raiders out there, especially to the Raider fans, everybody like this, okay? You need to make sure that you're not getting your too big of a head, okay? You need to show up every game. You need to win every game. You need to try to win every game. Don't lay any eggs, okay? I want to show you something. What happens when you get a little too cocky and you're like, oh, we're so good. Then something like this happens. Every Raiders fan remembers this game. This game made absolutely no sense. The Raiders were 6-4, tied for first place in the in the AFC West, and they come in and they play the 3-7 Falcons, and they just absolutely lay an egg. You see here 43-6. This was late in the season, so remember the knock on John Gruden-led teams, and especially the Raiders, was the fact that they would start off hot, and then they would fade towards the end of the season. November and December has not been nice to the Raiders. And you see here that the fact that they've got a couple hard games. It used to be previous seasons where they won all their hard games in the early part of the season and then would lose the easy games in the late part of the season. The Falcons right here only won 4 games. They lost the remainder of their games, and it made no sense. But this is one of those things where in the NFL, if you don't bring it every week, this can happen. So that is my plea to you, Raiders. Okay, don't get too big of a head. Get healthy, get right, okay? Hopefully you can come back after this. You got the Giants on the road. The Giants are capable of beating you. I don't care what anybody says. The Giants are capable of beating you. You got to come out and win that early time zone game. But again, you have to do that because there's no breaks down the latter part of the season. You're going to have an upset Kansas City team. You're going to have the Bengals. You got the Cowboys. You got the Colts. You've got, the Chargers again. There's no more breaks the rest of the season, okay? We'll see what happens with the Washington football team. But I'm telling you right now, you got to bring it because you can go 8-7 or you can go 8-9, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised at all if you don't bring it. So hopefully you do. All right, everybody, get in the comments right now. Let me know, what was your biggest impression from the Raiders game? What do you guys see going forward? Do you like the Raiders? Do you hate the Raiders? I don't know. I just want to get your guys' opinion. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, anything like that. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow with your regularly scheduled programming. I'm out.